And we're live, same shit every day. Forgive me for my swearing early doors, but people deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health and blessed. Good health and blessed. Again, people, you lot make the platform where it is. We've enjoyed a great summer. Again, while I like speaking and going over the articles and things, it's you lot that make the platform. So any differences of opinions, conversations, emerging news, please make sure we stay on top of that. Now, today, I'm sure I did a video and it came out earlier where I went more in depth, but I'm sure you would have seen Arsenal spent 187 million, and we're kind of being briefed that sales need to happen if we are to see any income. It's not necessarily because of PSR, that's just simply put what the football club want to do. In BERTA we trust, as you can see in the title, and you know, it was a long way. Well, it was a long time getting Zubimendi. It felt like an even longer time getting Gyökeres, even though that's not exactly true. And, you know, we don't do things quickly in it. So where Eze is concerned, I don't think we're going to see anything today, tomorrow, wherever. The media are, quite frankly, milking any sort of link towards Rodrygo. You would have actually seen, I'm sure within the last 10, 15, 20, half an hour top, Zinchenko's been linked with Fulham, which is music to our ears. If Fulham won the 2-for-1 deal, get him and Reece Nelson gone. That's 200 grand a week shaved off the wage bill. Gabriel Jesus, it seems like he might depart. The quicker we do that, the quicker we've got finances to play with. And shout out BERTA, because I'm exaggerating a bit because I did feel this last summer, but it does feel like the most important summer in a very long time with Arsenal. And it's one where we can criticize the players, the profile of the players, we can praise them, we can see if they will work. But in previous years, we might have needed a left winger or some addition on that flank or some level of an option and a forward. And previous years, we probably got one of the two. Now we need to address everything. Obviously, people need to be flushed out. And there's just several things we need to do. And I think BERTA's, you know, it's a strong current to swim in, and we're making progress with renewals. We've obviously brought in some players. He's held his nerve with Gyökeres. He's shown an ability to pivot where someone like Norgard's concerned when Partey was departing, or just in terms of the body. So yeah, big up BERTA. You're doing what needs to be done. Everyone was crying in May like, oh my God, BERTA, nothing's changed. And I get it, because last summer, you know, everyone, even the most patient of Arsenal fans, did not want to see Raheem Sterling, you know, rock up on deadline day, innit? And it hasn't been that. There's still a lot of work to go. There's still a lot of things we need to do, but steps in the right directions, man. What's YouTube telling me? Keep your opinions coming and whatnot, folks. What's this? Okay, everything's good. Everything's blessed. Back to the StreamYard part of this. Shout out yourself, Riley. Big up yourself. Don't know why it's a little lagging and whatnot, but we'll get there. Eze in the left winger. I can't see it. I can't see four attackers. I think three is kind of bang on with what David Ornstein said, whether we like it or not. You know, Madueke would count as one, Gyökeres would count as another. Then you've probably got Eze. I don't see Eze and Rodrigo, or if we just say a versatile attacker instead of Eze's name, and obviously a left winger or a winger that's stronger on that left-hand side, then I'll tell you, you're going to have to make it work, man. I don't know if anyone's still got faith in Martinelli, and Trossard's linked with moves away, but whether it's Martinelli, Trossard, Madueke, and all of them that are left-hand sided options, you've got to make it work, innit? You have to make it work. I know managers are, you know, they lie a bit, but he said he's happy with all the business. So this tells me everything that we wanted, we was unanimously agreed that this is how we step forward as a football club. Eze and Leao, probably more likely to get Leao, but again, where I look at, let's just get, for me, we need to get the Eze thing over the line, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But it doesn't seem like we want to pay the asking price. Maybe we can come to some sort of agreement, but it's going to cost you 60 odd million quid. Can we also see 60 odd million plus on Eze? Obviously, we've spent 50, 60 on Gyökeres, similar fee on Zubimendi, you know, the Keppers, the Norgards, all these guys of this world. You add up all their collective fees, as well as 50 on Madueke. Can we really see 60 on Eze? And then anything from 60 all the way to 100 potentially for Leao and Rodrigo. Pardon me. I hope so. I'd love to. You know, you see what Liverpool did. We kind of need to be doing stuff like that. But what I would say is, it's one thing talking about Leao, Rodrigo, Eze. If you can't get them and the caliber of those sort of players, get us that skill set. Because what I don't want to see is us still relying on certain players. Gyökeres is a step in the right direction. Again, with me, with Gyökeres Gyökeres and Saka, I have confidence that you lot are going to score the goals and make the difference. But Saka can't be expected to do it for 38 games. Neither can Gyökeres. And it's not like the others are bad players. But realistically, apart from them two, just based on the goals, Kai Havertz has been chipping in a lot more. But then you've got Kai, you've got Martinelli on paper, you've got Trossard, you've got the illusion of Madueke, in which I'm sure you could be good. You had a strong finish to the season, but I don't know what I'm going to get with you lot. In the last 3 years, give or take, we've scored 90 to 100 goals. But we've had a running joke. You don't know who's going to score the goals. Obviously, set pieces has been a thing for us. Saka's the only consistent one. We've seen decent goal scoring seasons in this 3-year period from Martinelli, from Trossard, from Kai Havertz, but it's all a bit, well, to be fair, it's all a bit muddy then. To be honest, Kai Havertz, apart from Gyökeres, who ain't kicked the ball for us, and Saka, Kai Havertz has probably pulled his weight in terms of scoring goals. Now, when it actually, not that it doesn't matter, because I remember the strong end to the season. What year was it? 2023, 24, when we ran it to the last day of the season, he was making the difference. But you could ask yourself, when it truly matters and we need someone to put the ball in the back of the net, I always kind of think of the last 2 years in the FA Cup against Man United and Liverpool, both at the Emirates. It came down to finishing, innit? Now, I'm not just blaming Kai, I'm blaming the whole team. Like, we keep seeing the same script as Arsenal fans. We know we're going to create... Well, in fact, there's a lot we can do to improve in terms of chance creation and all that, and we need to, because if you think you just slap Gyökeres and Eze and all these guys on the pitch, it's amazing. But we know we create chances. It's just the hardest thing to do in football is to score goals, and we're not putting the ball in the back of the net when it matters. So bring in the players. Obviously, do what you need to do tactically, Arteta. But yeah, Kai is a purple patch player. And to be fair, like, I'll be real, like, I don't think we should have bought Kai, but we're at where we're at now. Are we, like, just put people in roles they can thrive? Because if we're going to live or die by Kai Havertz scoring goals, we're in trouble. Testament to Kai Havertz, but it's damning on the football club. If we describe Kai Havertz as not being clinical, as being wasteful, as not really having any confidence in front of goal, in which last year was our top goal scorer and he was injured. The year before that, he chipped in. That's testament to him and he's doing his job. But then what are we doing as a club then? You're building your house on the sand. Like, it's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to the players. It's not fair to anybody, really. Put Kai in positions he's going to thrive. Now, obviously, if you got Gyökeres bagging, Saka banging, who, you know, the squad players chipping in, doing what they're doing, Odegaard doing what he's doing, Rice has shown the last 2 years he's scoring goals, this new left winger comes in, and on top of that, Kai's chipping in, great, but the burden isn't on him. We need to really go back to basics, if I'm honest, man. We need goals from all over the pitch. We need creativity from all over the pitch, and which, realistically, the creative spark has relied on just Odegaard. Now, that's your role in the team. That's your remit. Evidently, you need to do better at that. But then if, as what we saw last season play out, what happens? And then you go back to the 2022-23 season, we had a run. I know the inverted left-back stuff was new to us, and Zinchenko did very well in his first year there. How many times did we say we're not creating because we ain't got a left-back? Now, I know that's a naive way of looking at it, but that's literally where it was. If, you know, if Zinni weren't there, Zinni's having a bad game and Zinni's not working, we need to get away from just the over-reliance on one player. Now, of course, if you're a star, you're going to make the difference. Who would take Jesus? That cap hit is huge and he's always injured. Stacey, that's my fault, you know, and that's why it shocked me seeing... Sorry, man, my voice sounded a bit croaky. As I was saying, that's why it kind of shocked me to really hear like rumors around Gabriel Jesus, because like his wages are one thing, the injuries are another, he's still recovering. Would you want to commit to signing him permanently? That's why I kind of give more fuel to the fire for like the links to a couple of clubs. He's older one in Palmeiras and Flamengo on loan. It don't really make sense. But again, if Gabriel Jesus was fit, he'd probably be a candidate that we're trying to move on. And I think the club want to, you know, obviously it's all said and done. We know he can't score goals. We know he can't stay fit, but a fit Jesus, there's a use for him. Unfortunately, he's on big wages and, you know, Partey's cut, Jorginho's cut, Tierney's cut. In an ideal world, I guess, for the club, Zinchenko cuts, that's 100K a week. Reece Nelson, the same. Obviously, the Lokongas, the Fabio Vieiras, they might not be earning the most money, but you kind of, you know, you cut the costs really, because we brought in some players on decent wages. We're renewing deals. You'd imagine Magalhaes has a very good, healthy pay rise of some sorts. We still got to pay Kai Havertz, and we'll see how that goes. Odegaard and Martinelli, if they don't, Odegaard based on last season and where we're at with Martinelli, again, things might happen. So again, I think anyone would be naive. Like, obviously, when you look at Andrea BERTA, phenomenal record, what he's doing at Atletico Madrid, clearly experienced, shows an ability to pivot, tough negotiator, all of that kind of stuff, you know, done his part in Atletico Madrid, beating Barcelona and Real Madrid to a title. But when you look beyond that, he comes from a financial background. Now, if you're Cronkies and you're on this self-sustaining stuff, which isn't necessarily wrong, BERTA is music to your ears. And beyond the obvious of, can you get Sesko over the line? Okay, you can't get Sesko, you can't get Isaac. I only mentioned those two names because Isaac, we've been knowing for years, that would have been the dream for Arsenal. Sesko was the one, it seemed like it was going to happen. Either way, it's neither here nor there. All right, let's go and get Gyökeres. Let's, you know, where Zubamendi's concerned, clearly Edu and Jason Ito and all them guys put the groundwork in, but can you tie that over the line? Can you get the renewals? There has to be an emphasis on selling, much like last season. You know, we've actually been making a lot of losses, and I'm sure the Cronkies are like, okay, consistent money in the Champions League now, flush some players out. We've been spending money, not really getting anything back. And the next steps for this football club is actually, for me, revamping that loan market, revamping it for the players that don't necessarily make it at this club, whether they come through the academy and they're good but not quite good enough, and you make your 10, 20, 30 million on a couple of those. Or let's use Martinelli and Marquinhos as examples. You can say what you want about Martinelli, but for 6 million quid, we've got more than enough for that. Let's just say, okay, you're selling him, you're making a profit. Marquinhos clearly was shit, but you get him for 3 million, you turn that into 30, we're going crazy, really. So I think that's not naturally the next step. Our highest sale is still Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and especially the academy. Like, you look at Liverpool, like, yeah, they're spending mad money, but it kind of shocks you. Liverpool not doing this every year, in it, but they also get good money for sales. When they do sell Harvey Elliott, that's 35 to 50 million. Kwanzaa went for something decent. Who else they got? Luis Diaz, they've made a profit. Even Chelsea, whatever you say about them, they know to make money. They've made a profit on Madueke and João Felix, where you look at their combined fee. And we need to be getting at that kind of stuff. It's not going to happen overnight. It's definitely not going to happen in a few months, but step in the right direction. Jesus is too injury prone, and unfortunately, you do have to have a human element about you, yeah, but we ain't really got time for sentiment. And I feel the thing that shocked me the most, it's going to sound dumb, but it would be Tomiyasu, actually. I did not have that down that we'd be ripping up his contract. Now, he's on what he essentially had a year left. He's obviously earning a lot less than Gabriel Jesus. It'll be a lot more costly to get rid of Jesus in that regards. But you've seen everything with Gabriel Jesus. You've actually seen rumors that he'll get a new deal at Arsenal. The deal will get ripped up. Don't really believe it, but he's been linked with Barca, with AC and Inter Milan. I don't know why he was linked with Tottenham Hotspur. That didn't bang. Newcastle and various moves back to his homeland. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Bro, the Cronkies own 4 major pro teams: the Nuggets, Rams, Colorado, and Arsenal. They're focused on Arsenal this year. I hope that you've had a conversation with them and they've told you that. I don't know that. They don't necessarily even need to be focused. Let's just get over the line. Evening from Australia, my good friend Stephen. Appreciate you, KJ, as well. I don't know why, and I'm always going to say this, but over the summer, it feels like somebody is promoting me in Australia. So shout you lot around the world, but shout Aussie. Zinchenko has to go. That's a huge cap hit. And Lewis Skelly snatched his chain. It's true, but we've been waffling about depth. I hope people can see it now. I said we need another left back, and I stand by that, or someone with the capacity to do that. We're a couple of stuff away from Timber having to do us a job over there. And again, injuries never really come for Arsenal in one. And when you're playing 2 games a week, 3 games in 10 days, you're in the December, October, November, kind of period. It's long. Like, Calafiori, you can't bet on him. I hope that that's not another Tomiyasu situation. Mikel Arteta has actually spoke about him. Miles Lewis-Skelly, to expect him to play 38 games, you throw in everything, you're looking at potentially 60, maybe even more games, for club and country, probably even 70 in that regards. That's a myth. You need another left back. So I'm only saying that to say this. I don't want Zinni to stay, but I wonder if the club are saying, do you know what? We're putting all our eggs into the Eze basket. Hato was a bit expensive. Maybe we keep Zinni for a year, if for nothing more, just depth. I still want a left back though, man. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hit the like button. It's free and helps to push the stream in the algorithm. Karma, you're far too kind. Sell Fabio Reese, Zinni Trossard. Yeah, I can't disagree. We get Isaac/Eze on the left, and Martinelli could be back up either Saka or Eze. 14 to wash out Eddie and Nketiah's taste. I don't think we're going to get Isaac. I think you need to let that one go, but bring Eze to the carpet 100%. Appreciate the Polish, man. Appreciate you. Big up the Polish ones, man. I don't know if I speak facts, but I appreciate that. Sell Lokonga. Arteta's horrible, isn't it? Like, I'm not saying this wrong, but Nelson's going to go. He's got minutes on the tour. Lokonga's got no minutes in it. To be fair, maybe Arteta said don't get on the plane. Now sign, I'm not sure what you're saying here. Now sign, loan Jesus with obligation to buy. Sign Vlahovic on the free. Eze and Lookman is doable because Eze is 30 million up front and the rest in installments. And Lookman is going for 45 million. Wasted 52 million on Madueke. I hope Madueke can prove everything wrong. I don't know if anybody would want to get Gabriel Jesus with an obligation just because you don't know how it's going to pan out after this big injury. Vlahovic, I don't know if he's ripped up his deal at Juventus, but if he has, then fair enough. That's a myth. We're not going to do that. We've got Gyökeres, and in Arteta's mind, there's a bunch of other strikers, and I don't think Vlahovic fits the system. I don't necessarily think Gyökeres does in a positive way, but Gyökeres will work his socks off. I don't think that's extended to Vlahovic. Lookman seems like he's going into, so you have to kiss that one goodbye, man. Jesus makes almost 40 mil. Big him up because no one put a gun to Arsenal's head to give him that. Fair play, man. Would you rather get Eze and Leao or just Rodrygo? Eze and Leao. More numbers. You got Leao on the left-hand side. You got Eze that can float all about in a number of positions. Rodrigo, fantastic player. And, I would love Rodrigo over Leao, if I'm honest with you. But at the end of the day, I'd rather two quality players than one, innit? So yeah, I think it's Trossard, Reece, and Jesus on the outgoings. Arsenal currently has 220 mil plus payroll, and we need to reduce it to 190. Eze and Leao, Eze and the left winger. Big up yourself, Riley, if I haven't said that already. BERTA is the best sign in this transfer window. I'm here for that. CeeLo, one love. I'm here for that. It's nice to, you know what? Because on one hand, I shouldn't get happy in it because people are just doing their jobs and being competent. But I can't blame Arsenal fans for the excitement bordering on to overexcitement, as much as you can say that, myself included, about Gyökeres, because we just wanted a striker that can play like a striker and do all of that stuff that they want in the modern day. And it's nice to have a competent sporting director. I shouldn't praise you for being competent because I'm sure BERTA gets paid a lot. You've got a great reputation and we're Arsenal Football Club, but it's nice, with the greatest of respect to Edu, because there's probably a lot of things we praise about the club that you played a part in, but you weren't levels. Like, simple as that. You were not levels. It's as simple as that, man. Appreciate you. Big up, right? Big up KG as well, man. Make sure we're smashing the likes, man. Arsenal now already lost Jorginho, putting Sterling in there is nasty. Jorginho, Sterling, Partey, Tommy Asutini. Last season, when we were already short on squad depth and lost the title in Champions League, we should not be selling anyone now. I hear you, and we do need depth, but reality is the club needs to, not even needs to sell. It's a direct mandate from the Cronkies. They're looking at it, and everybody's situation is different. Some players were good and the systems left them. Some man can't stay fit. Some man, it just never worked. But fundamentally, there's a lot of players that you forget about are at the team, and a lot of players that are making too much money. I definitely agree, because it does feel in many ways it's a one in, one out thing. But yeah, man, we're going to have to. We're going to have to. Putting Sterling there is nasty work, but I hear you. Jorginho, we're at him and Partey's mercy, innit? I guess let's not let contracts run out. Midfield, Zubamendi and Jorginho's come in which I'm not sure if depth's improved there. By default, if Trossard leaves, it's another thing. But right now, Martinelli and Trossard are there. So we're bringing in Madueke and Gyökeres. We have bolstered our attacking ranks, essentially. But you're right, depth. If we learn nothing more, depth, which is why I want another left back. Tommy, flight risk, really, if I'm honest with you, in terms of fitness. And do you know what? I think Tommy might have been suffering through some level of personal reasons away from football, man, and he just needed to get out of it. The only thing that's going to annoy me with Tommy is he's going to rock up at some European club, and we're not got no bread there, but it is what it is. I don't see Eze working as a left winger unless you use him like we use Coutinho as a left wing cam kind of role. Naturally, he's going to invert in it. Like, naturally, that's Eze. Like, obviously, Eze can hang on the touchline, take you on and do skills and all of that. But he likes to come inside, play those nice little passes, drive with the ball. That's him, innit? And to be honest with you, like you said there, taking space in small pockets. I'm on that, because even if I hear what people are saying, you're not necessarily saying this, but I hear what people are saying. Eze is not an out-and-out winger, yada, yada, yada. If we forget about what we think we know of Eze and all the other roles he can play, if we just said he is a left winger, is he better than everybody that plays on that side that's at Arsenal right now? Clearly, in my opinion, bring him. Madueke, I back you because you signed for my football club. I wouldn't have signed you. Arteta, you need to make that work. When it's all said and done, cool. We had a strong finish to the end of the season. He started playing off the left. Arteta, you have to make that work. You have to make that work. You're either going to look like an idiot or a genius. That's down to you. I think Eze could do it, man. I think Eze, and again, look through the games. Like, there might even be games Eze might be on the bench. She come and make us a hero. I said it with Gyökeres. Gyökeres could score in the first 10 games. We're happy as Larry. We've won our first 10 out of 10. Gyökeres is scoring. What when game week 11 comes, when it's not happening for Saka? It's not happening for Gyökeres. There might be some dodgy refereeing decision. We haven't necessarily played well. Then you might look to Kai to come off the bench and nick you a goal or whoever. You get the point. KJ's a Liverpool fan. Origi, he's definitely not the most clinical man in terms of what you'd want from a striker, but he would come off the bench and make himself a cult hero. He scored certain good goals. Like, there's a couple man you will see in the squad. Like, I'm exaggerating, but Kai might only score 5 goals, but those 5 goals could have been last minute winners. So what would that mean? We need a squad. I'm not on going into, like, even if you do everything I want, I still don't necessarily think we're getting the title over the line, but at least I feel, you know what, can give a good goal of this. Like, let it be, because we've exhausted everything and we have to go back to the drawing board and the other teams were better than us. Don't shoot yourselves in the foot and just whimper to the finish line like last season. It weren't no title race last season. You can make sympathies as much as you want about the injuries and all of these kind of things. At the end of the day, there's 3 years now. We flirted with it. We've had some good moments. Fundamentally, we finished second. How do we get over that? Rather than being harsh on individuals, let's be harsh on a problem. We finished second. How do we go about that? Let's get the depth. Let's take what we've been, what we've done in the last 3 years, this distinctive brand of football. Let's be a bit unpredictable. Let's stop relying on people that strengths are not to score goals and defenders that can't defend, and keep it moving, man. if that makes sense. The Cronkies have reduced cap space in 3 of their 4 pro teams and increased the spending on Arsenal. Arsenal has gained their allocation faith. Just make it work, Arteta, then, because if they've given you the P's, make sure you don't fumble the budget, innit? How's Gyökeres link-up play? I've watched nothing of that guy because I never wanted him. I wouldn't say he's got the most amazing link-up play. Like, I think Gabriel Jesus' link-up play is better than him and Haaland's, but what he is decent at. Out of 10, I'd give it a 6, and then you're a cold-hearted killer. I don't think he's ever going to look the most beautiful of footballers, but yeah, I want you to just be in the box. At the same time, though, I do think there's this rhetoric that Gyökeres just stands in the box waiting on chances. When do you see that in the modern day? And if you do, there's probably about 2 teams I couldn't tell you in the world, because you can't do that. You're essentially in the modern day, if your striker's just hanging on the centre half or just standing in the box, you're actually playing with 10 men. So I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised. I know what annoys me, people nitpicking, and I'm speaking purely with Arsenal fans. I don't really give a flying monkeys. He doesn't score headers, even though he scored one in training. We got other people that could do that. I think his link-up play is decent, so that tells me there's confidence in that. Whether you're pulling into the channels, dropping into midfield, you can be effective and affect the game without scoring. But yeah, we need a striker that's going to bag, man. I'm putting him down as immediately the 3rd best striker in the Premier League. Don't let me down. I give Isaac that, give Haaland that. But yeah, we need the numbers. That's what I'm getting at. We can't have another makeshift striker situation this season for other positions. I'm with you with that. And this is why I say, when it comes to depth, I said it at the beginning of last season and got pelters for it. I feel if there's any knock-on effect with injuries and we're struggling, I feel sorry for us fans. I feel sorry for the players. I don't feel sorry for anyone that makes any technical or recruitment decisions, and that extends to Arteta, because we've seen this. We've seen it happen to Liverpool. We've seen it happen to. We've seen it with Rodrygo. We've seen it with City. We've seen it several times. It's not the same, but we've seen how one injury can derail things. The first year we fought for the league with Rob Holding, the whole fiasco of Rob Holding and William Saliba. The season after that, so when we ran it to the last day of the season, we had a clean run with injuries. But everyone likes to conveniently forget Partey, Tomiyasu, and Timber. They all had injuries. So we can't avoid injuries. But even that, we've seen seasons where we've kept everybody relatively fit. We've seen seasons where, like last year, where I don't even know if people even turned up to training. Like, everyone was in the treatment room. But we finished second. So let's just take the lessons of those last 3 years and do our thing, because football's like life, innit? Every time you don't want to learn a lesson, the universe is going to keep repeating that lesson until you graduate. So yeah, man. Trossard ain't a touchline winger. Eze will play similar to Trossard. I just want to say, man, how you play is your business. Just make sure you're getting me goals and assists and we can believe in you, innit? And to be fair, that's a skill set. I'm on that because I want to see it's been 2 years now. We need to be able to break down low blocks. I don't know if you're going to slap Eze, Wanyeri, Odegaard, all the cute and clever Wenger-y kind of players in tight spaces. I don't know if we're going to play with more width and stretch the opposition. And again, these men know about football more than me. But when you come against a deep block, low block, mid block, compact unit, whatever way do you shape it, it'd be fair to say it's about space. It's about being condensed in it, about limiting the space, about not letting the opponent down the sides too much, doubling up, just being solid and compact. So the remit is to make that not compact in it, is to make gaps. And I don't feel we do that. There's been times where last season Kai might be just in the box by himself. You might get Declan Rice making those heroic 3rd man runs, which you might get a bit of a luck. I'm sure it worked against Newcastle, but generally you're by yourself. And I know it's only been, 3, but to our knowledge, 2 pre-season games. So I'm not expecting everything to just go, but I haven't really seen anything different off the left, anything different in terms of build-up play. And I will be more harsher on them kind of like evolution of tactics sort of rhetoric. I'll be a lot harsher for me personally past the 10-game mark in the Premier League, because people have this weird fantasy that people rock up for pre-season where mainly it's fitness for the first week or so, but people just think pre-season is this magical thing from anything from a month to a week where all the issues from last season are resolved. It doesn't happen. It takes a bit of time. You're chasing fitness. You're learning new things. New players are bedding in. That's why for me, if I'm still crying about the left-hand side, we're moving the balls too slow. We're not really up there for big chances created from open play, but we are up there for big chances missed. It tells you we're not creating enough, but the ones we're not bagging, which is why I keep saying signing these guys is one thing. It's not as sexy as talking about signings, but tactics. But yeah, so when we get past the 10-game mark, that's when I'm trying to see who's really fit. What new things have we got? Because everyone's chasing fitness. That's why, of course, the first 6 to 10 games in the Premier League for Arsenal, got to hit the ground running. Some big teams, some difficult teams, it's traveling to some grounds we don't typically do well at. But one thing that does, I wouldn't even say gives me confidence, everyone's at a level playing field, if that makes sense. Everybody's chasing fitness. Everyone's got new players. Some players are fitter than others, depending on where you bought them from and if they, how much of a preseason they've had, if they've had a preseason at all. So just, yeah, that's what I feel, man. Just make it happen, man. Just got to make it happen. Any updates on Eze? We'll get there, man. Have we got 100 likes yet? You little boy, and it's 60, 40 more, and we do all of that, people. 4 p.m. I'm going to have DJB and Kenny Ken. Our attack has become fullbacks in midfield, midfielders on the wing, and wingers on bumping into the linesmen. We're always going to struggle for goals unless we change something. Arteta's going to have to. I expect much difference. We barely played our new players, bar Zubamendi. Even that, they necessarily going to start now. Gyökeres is in. I'm of the thing where you don't know. I'm all on that statistical nonsense, but I think we need to go back to basics. My striker Gyökeres has to start. Just start, embed him in. Even if he struggles first 5 games, just blood him in. Let's just do what needs to be done. But they've got to get up to speed tactically. Clearly, Gyökeres isn't fully fit because, yeah, you've had your little personal trainer and that, but you haven't participated in group pre-season up until now for Sporting or Arsenal. Obviously, there's a couple of weeks until we kick off the season. There is some games in England, but it does take a while to get up to speed with the system. The same afforded to Madueke as well. So are they necessarily going to start? I don't know. Zubamendi, you're right. And fuck it, Zubamendi's better than Partey. Like, he is. Keep Martinelli, get Eze for more creativity and sell Trossard. We still need a left wide playmaker / inside forward. Surely Eze would be that, though. The wide playmaker point you're referring to, Matthew. Big up yourself. Hey, appreciate you, because normally you're the first guy commenting, man. Appreciate you. Gyökeres and Odegaard have to create chemistry early. It's true, but like you got to know, we all know how complicated everybody's individual job is. You know, Raya, again, like Raya's, for example. Obviously, your goalie, you need to stop balls out the back of your net. But at times he's having to act like a centre half to provide a passing lane. There's certain passes you got to hit in. You know, the fullback's got to be in certain places, not just who's inverting typically off the left, but also if you're going to make a back three, if you're on the right-hand side, how the midfield ties in. Has Odegaard got to go and pick it off the centre halves? How do you lead the press? What the striker's got to do, you know, and eat, like, for example, remember when we was lumping it, there was a period 2 years ago, we're lumping it long from Raya to Kai. Odegaard's got to think, okay, the manager said lump it long to Kai. Where have I got to be on the pitch? And Martin, I know you don't want to hear Martinelli's name, but Martinelli's job might be, okay, I've watched the ball go from Raya to Kai to Odegaard. Where's the manager told me to be? So everybody's got a very difficult individual job, and then a very difficult individual job and a very difficult collective job is, I guess, before I started stuttering what I wanted to say. So it takes time to get up to speed with things. But then I do feel as a club, we got to go back to the basics. Like, maybe not always overthink things. Just let things flow. We need that healthy bit of randomness. As much as I like everything Arteta's done, the good, bad, and the ugly, it's got us to this point. I do feel it's a bit predictable. It's a bit scripted. You know, when you watch football and when you break it all down, regardless of the club we support and all those sort of things, that randomness, that when you see a phase of play or some skills or some chances that you can't put into words, there's no way of describing it. I don't get that from Arsenal 9 times out of 10. And I think we need that. That helps to be unpredictable. I think for Arteta, definitely I would say for me in the final third, defensively, I like everything you're doing. And I like the fact that you overthink. Maybe just take the handbrake off in the final third. Just sometimes attack is a way of defense. Maybe keeping Saka further up the field and maybe dropping a midfielder deeper could get us a couple more goals. I don't know, man. Did you see the video from Gyökeres? All he needs from Odegaard's assist. Love the mentality. Trevor, I love it. Even when they asked him, well, it weren't the same video, but last minute winner or hat trick, he's just cold-blooded in that way, and we need him, man. Hoping Glock 14 starts tomorrow. BG, one love. But knowing Arteta, it probably won't happen. To be fair, I don't think he'll start. I mean, it'll be good. You know, he's crashed the website allegedly where sales are concerned and things of that ilk, but maybe 20 minutes, 30, 45. You never know. I guess it all depends on, because it's one thing signing Gyökeres. It's another thing for the manager and the coaching staff and the physios. All right, cool. You signed for us. The fans have done all of this. You've been presented. The next day, now you're in training. After we introduce you, now you're in training. How sharp do you look? How fit actually are you? Maybe he's fitter than we expected. Maybe he's not as fit as we expected. And that's obviously going to have a knock-on effect of how many minutes you're going to get and what when, really. So it's one with that. You'd imagine he's been on some level of individual training at Arsenal. Like, I don't know if he's been part of all the group sessions or done extra work because of his mentality. I reckon he's a lot fitter than they're expecting, but you just never know with these things, man. Arteta has set us up too rigid since 2022-23. We need to be more direct and on the front foot. Yeah, man, there needs to be an evolution. I know it's not as simple as this, but you see the way we played in the year you're talking about, 2022-23. See the way we defended the year after. Just merge them together, man. Just merge them together. We're lit, man. Big up DG. The truth, I wish, man. The truth is that Liverpool will give Salah a new role, which will take time because Trent is not there. So I believe Arsenal should get Eze done, get rid of some players and get that title. So what? I'd imagine Salah still could play up front. I mean, play off the right. If anything, it's for Primi behind him. Football is evolving backwards now. The best teams in the world, like PSG, Liverpool, and Barca, are the ones that do the basics better than everyone else. I hear that, and they're free. Liverpool have that air of fluidity about them. It's not really sexy football. It's direct, but they have that thing about them. Barcelona, Hansi Flick, he does micromanage and overcoach, but at the same time, he lets certain man or the team do their thing in certain roles, and he lets man play. PSG, I think, obviously, beyond the obvious, why would we not want to be like PSG? They've got stars. They won the Champions League, and yeah, cool, they dealt with us when we didn't get embarrassed. But I think beyond the obvious, Mikel Arteta's got to look at Luis Enrique, because I think you're from the same kind of school of thought. Luis Enrique is an overthinker, clearly an overthinker. That's not even a bad thing. But they see the difference with Luis Enrique. It's like he said, 90% you lot are going to do what I need you to do. I need you lot to buy into stuff. But that 10% I'm going to let players play. Because you do see Carrot Skeeler, Dembele, everybody busting their ass to defend, but equally they're put up in situations where they can do what they've been doing, innit? Play attacking football and do what and whatnot. The midfield is probably not what's going to get the headlines at PSG, but the midfield for me is the most entertaining thing, because on paper, you know, João Neves is probably the 6, and then you've got Fabio Ruiz and whoever else, they're slightly forward, but you see times where they might, you know, when it comes to build-up play, the 10 might be where the 6 is meant to be. João Neves is the furthest up the field. So I guess what I'm getting at is there needs to be freedom in a framework, within a framework. And I guess what I'm also getting at is what I said at the beginning, in that signing players is half the job. You've got to free them up. And the players have got to want to do that, which is something I can't criticize the players. That's one hot take I will have. If I ever feel like the players are down tools or are down in tools or not doing what the manager's doing, telling them to do right or wrong, which hasn't been the case in the last 3 years. If I ever see that at any point next season, that's when the manager's got to go, because that is only going to get worse. Saw that with Emre, saw it with Wenger, actually saw it with whoever got sacked before Ten Hag came in. We see that all the time. Vitaya as well. And then that's, again, as much as, you know, clearly Luis Enrique is telling them you need to work. We've all seen the Mbappe clips when he was there with Luis Enrique. You know, he's micromanaging, he's doing all these things. There is a degree of common sense. You lot are grown enough, ugly enough, old enough. You know, you might not be, you know, you might be a 10. Your job is not to do 6 stuff. But if you can see there's a gap, go deal with that. You know, you need to defend. Just letting players think for themselves and being street smart, because I do like the fact that we micromanage. I do like how everything that we're now criticizing, I do like it. The problem is we've been doing it for a number of years, and it's a double-edged sword. The stuff that has got us here, we now need to adapt and evolve, or we're going to stagnate, which is regression. Sometimes PSG don't defend. It's football. Teams are defending and attacking all the time. Slot is a decent coach, but people act like he was coaching a bunch of bums. All he did was remove the shackles, and they have ballers through McAllister, Salah, Szoboszlai, Van Dijk, Konate. Either way, that's a competent coach then, and there's something that he could learn from Slot, because people can look at the Eredivisie and boy it, but that is a league-winning manager that at some point last season, like, my hot take is I don't think Liverpool fans or Liverpool as a football club thought they were going to win the title being with a shout. Obviously, some of their players have won it. Why would you not want to do that? But at some point, the penny dropped. Right, you know what? We've been getting some results. There might be something here. Let's run with it. Now you're seeing what Slot's doing. And to be fair, what could Slot have done? What can you change too much? What can you change when you've only been brought with a Chiesa? Chiesa is the only one that's come through the door. What can you really change? And if you do widespread changes, so on and so forth, what's going to happen? I'm pretty sure, Slot must have been doing little training drills geared towards what they want to do this year, but you have to keep things intact. And I do agree with you, Trevor, but unfortunately, you're one of the only people that are acting like that. The majority of the footballing world was saying, oh, Liverpool not going to be up there, blah, blah, blah. It's peak, they're finished, this, that, and the other, and the third. Then obviously what happened? Oh, they're going to fall off. Salah keeps bailing them out. Now, and again, I'm not saying you, Trevor, but now when they got over the line, it completely switched to, oh my God, they had all of these players. Which one is it? Arteta just needs more talent, simple as. I don't know, man. Defensively, I've always maintained that. I saw very early what you wanted to do defensively, and certain man were letting you down. In an attacking sense, I can't see it. I don't think it's as simple as you get attackers in and we're lit now. I haven't seen that. Maybe if I could see us creating chances and moving the ball quickly and penetrating central areas and all the things we know needs to improve. And it's just Kai's missing a million chances. Martinelli's decision making is terrible. Clearly, we need more talent, like clearly, but that's kind of run out. A tradesman's only good as his tools, but also you got to get the most out of them because you're getting some expensive tools. If you can't do the job, that's an issue. Because Gyökeres, he showed me in Coventry you can bag goals. You showed me in Portugal you can bag goals. And I know you got to adapt to the league and playing for Arsenal is very different and all that kind of stuff. But if he struggles, obviously he has to hold himself accountable. We need to look at why Gyökeres is struggling, but then I have to look at the gaffer. Because whatever we say, and it's not even a criticism of Arteta, it's just the brute honest truth. Like, you can say what you want about Martinelli. Let's not move. He can frustrate you. Let's not move like he's shit. You don't have to like Trossard. Let's not move like he's crap. Kai Havertz might not be everyone's cup of tea, and he probably shouldn't be here. But let's not move like he's the most worst footballer we've ever seen play for this football club. And extend that to all the attackers. Are we getting the most out of them? I don't know. Transitional play in the final third has to change. And the players, to be honest, to a degree, they're doing what the manager's telling you to do. I need to see us be a bit random and go off script, or the script needs to change slightly. As I said, defensively, I'm kind of cool. You lot can keep doing what you're doing type of thing. Midfield, I think it's just a case of moving the ball quicker because you got Lewis Skelly inverting, you've got Declan Rice, a new look kind of Declan Rice as well in the 8 thing. Odegaard, you need to get back to it, but we all know Odegaard's a good player. I think Zubimendi is going to change us. So it's more on, I guess that's tactics. Attack, I'm concerned because ultimately that's going to win games, man. Aubameyang struggled under Arteta system. He went out on the left though. Martinelli would flourish under Slot/Klopp. I just think Martinelli needs to go to a team that's just mad on the transition, really, or a team that's either going to play him as a striker or they play that Liverpool, Newcastle crazy football because this seems a bit complicated, man. Martinelli hasn't had a consistent left-hand side for time. I hear that, but them kind of things ran out now, man. Them things ran out for Martinelli now, man, because it's been 3 years. To the point where I look back in the 2022-23 season, was that a purple patch? Because you did try to sign Mudryk. I don't know. And that's always going to happen, man. Goalposts always going to move. Slot is better than Arteta at utilising his player strengths. And again, it's a learning curve for Arteta, but I don't want you to learn in vain. I do think that is true. And I do think when we bucked PSG, that could be said. That last season was the first time I looked at Arteta. Not the first time, but the first time I was like, yeah, you're a bit inexperienced when it comes to like the real fine margins. Like Zubimendi spoke about the fine margins and stuff, and we always speak about the fine margins, but we're never on the right side of it. So how do we do that? With what we've been discussing in the 38 minutes. The team also lack off-ball movement in the final third. If that is fixed, we can be explosive and unpredictable. I watched Liverpool pre-season game today. Not impressed at all. Noni and Ngoma had good games. Shout out the youths. Two very talented players, man. Very, very talented players. Direct football is more entertaining. True. This season, Arteta has to play touchline fullbacks with wingers instead of close to the number 9. I would like to see that on occasion, but I don't think he's going to do that. He's set on his ways, isn't it? If I'm honest. Gyökeres has to tell him this is where I want the ball. Love from Melbourne. Shout out the Aussies, man. Odegaard, pardon me. Odegaard, Marino, Zubimendi have all played as a midfield trio before, haven't they? I think so. I ain't trying to see that, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to see that. I'm really not trying to see that. We need Eze for that extra creativity. Him, Saka, and Martin Odegaard will make sure we have chances to score. And let's just make sure we're not lopsided, man. And it's interesting because I'd imagine Zubimendi's going to play on the right, but he actually can play off the left. Him and Rice are very different, but quite similar in that kind of regards. Could Zubimendi peel out to the left? But then again, the left-hand side, if you do play Eze off that, I do think it could work if you've got, you know, both the fullback and the left winger in Eze's case inverting. But naturally, you'd want to see a bit. That's where you want Calafiori fit. That's why I'd only really think we're going to see that if we're chasing games or we want to try different things or whatever. Arteta had to adapt our team to a team pushing in the league and Champions League with no Gabriel, no Havertz, Jesus and Saka. Would Slot have managed that? Listen, I'm not criticizing Mikel Arteta, nor do I give a flying monkeys about Arnie Slot, nor do I care what Slot and Arteta, you know, yeah, my manager can do things the manager hasn't. I just know my manager has taken over our club. We was a mess. We've got to a point. We've had some good days out. We flirted with success. We've not got over the line. It's as simple as that. Whether Liverpool have kept their players fit or whatever, because I've seen us finish second when everyone's fit. I've seen us be second when we finished when obviously, nobody's been fit. And at the same time, that's our fault. You can never predict injuries. But again, before our balls kicked last season, did we have enough depth? Did we have enough depth? No. If we had the depth, like how we're gearing up this year, then I start to entertain, for me personally, okay, man, are unlucky. It's easy to criticize and whatnot, but it was predictable with the hamstrings. All of those players have played a lot of football last season, the year before that, and probably club and country. You don't get any medals for that. You don't get any awards for that. And I would say the bigger thing is, if that does happen to Onslaught, you're the fucking manager. You've got to find a way to do that. Unfortunately, you've had to adapt because you had no choice but to adapt. You had to adapt out of necessity, not via choice. Arteta has not shown us that he will adapt by choice in the last 2 years. Like last year, you had no choice. When you've got no one to pick from, you have to slap Merino up front. In your mind, well, you don't have to. You could have put Martinelli, but you get the point. There's no medals for that. That's not me trying to be disingenuous, but and I'm not criticizing Arteta, but where does that go with us? And for me, I rate Arteta, so now it's about getting over the line. You never, and even with that, Havertz, we all saw before what it felt like. Could see him breaking down against Wolves away. He got bodied the next week. Gabriel Magalhaes is a big L, but you struggled with depth there, whether it's down to Arteta, Edu. I'm just going to say the club because we're all in this together. You know what you sign up for. Saka, we've been having those conversations, and injuries will derail anyone, but where does that go? If we want sub stories, this ain't the place to be. End of the day, it happens. We go back to when we flip in won the league. What starting 11? And I know football is different. What starting 11 went out there and won the league at Old Trafford? Or if you don't want to say starting 11, which squad players went in there? You need a squad. The club have known this. Everybody at the club. We learned nothing new last season. Injuries, breaking down low blocks, rotations, squad depth, being able to pivot in games. As a club, because we are a family, there's no point drawing out Arteta and this one and that one. We knew this. This wasn't anything new. We knew that going into last season. So if you know that and you didn't do anything about that, not that you tried, because I have no doubt, Edu or Arteta, you tried to bring in players, you tried to do whatever. But if you don't try to do your job and you don't necessarily do a good job, are you not getting sacked? Are you not getting sacked? You could, like, even going back to the injuries thing, if you go into your office and say, oh, yeah, unfortunately, family died, I got stuff going on at home, the bus was late, the train was late, I had too many meetings, If you've been given a remit and you haven't done it, nobody, unfortunately, there is that element of nobody cares. I will say this on record, when it comes to speaking about the nuances and all of these things, people, there's not a single better YouTube channel than that where it comes to speaking about that. But there is an element when you move beyond that of sport just being haves and have nots, like life, getting over the line or not. Can you do it or not? And that is our stage now. The players deserve it. The fans deserve it. Arteta, I think you're a fucking good manager, I actually think you're a good manager. People can laugh and do whatever they want to do. I'm not saying he will be managing everyone and he's the best thing since sliced bread, but let's cut the crap. If he got sacked by Arsenal tomorrow and all the traditional top 4 to top 6, their managers, everybody's managers got sacked, I'm not saying Arteta will get the jobs. He'll be on the short list. The same goes for Madrid. The same goes for Barcelona. Not me saying he will get it, but that tells you there's something. You have managed in the Champions League for 2 years. You as a person, you have managed in the Champions League for 2 years. Quarterfinals, we didn't get embarrassed. Okay. Improvement with the semis. And fingers crossed, man, quarterfinals, semi-finals. Hopefully it correlates to not just getting to a final, but winning it. You have, to the point where people are mocking Arsenal for finishing second. People are mocking us for being a great defensive side. People are mocking our top 6 record. Not that you get medals for anything, but when these things were the complete opposite, they drew us out. I've seen you get a tune out of players. I've seen you get a lot wrong, but get a lot right. I've seen you speak with a lot of conviction. The difference for me is I'm not an Arteta apologist. If I think all of this, I think it's fair to say, why have you not got over the line in the last 3 years? It's like if one of your friends is talented about something and they're not reaching their potential, you're not going to say, geezer, like, what's going on? And also, that is how I feel. And I think Arteta, people can laugh, but anyone that understands sport, all that win the dog and the speakers and all of that kind of stuff, that is geared towards winning. That's my point. Everything is geared towards winning, but actually winning. Days out at Wembley, getting over the line. The manager says, I want to win. The players say they want to win. The season before last day of the season, what happened? I don't feel as a club, and the players do play, but my sympathies for them, we put our best foot forward. And also, that's how I feel about Arteta individually. Throw Arsenal into it. This ain't no kumbaya thing, bro. I've seen ruthlessness by you. So at some point, the penny has to drop of, okay, yeah, we might fall off. The new manager restart, but you can't keep doing the same things. You've had stability. You've been here. I don't even do the 5-6 year thing because we've really been in a title challenge, 3 bordering on 4 now when this season starts. But You've been in the title challenge for 3, hopefully 4 years. You've been here for 6 years. You've been given full autonomy. You can bring in your coaching staff. You've ripped up contracts. You've won player battles. You've been given a lot. I'm not a fan of the Cronkies, but I'm sure if you look at Arsenal's record signings, yeah, at least 3 to 4 of them have been under the gaffer. And this is someone that got the job where you was learning from Pep Guardiola and that. You're on 15 million a year, bro. It's not now. We the rebuild, all of that. It's getting over the line. Because it doesn't, obviously, it hurts me and it hurts all of you lot as Arsenal fans, no doubt not winning. How do you think, not that the players' feelings matter more or less, but how do you think they feel when you're, 2022, 23, you're blitzing the league and then Saliba's injured and it goes down the piss, it goes down the toilet. And then before that, the year before that, where we're looking like we're getting top 4, we're getting smoked at Newcastle and Spurs. You're having such a great run in the Champions League, beating Real Madrid with a half-fit side. You're out of it against PSG. You're finishing second the last 3 years. It's them players that are riding the highs and the lows. Right now, we're mocked for not getting it over the line, and which is right. But if we're second out of 20 teams, yeah, cool. We got issues not getting over the line, but that must mean we're closer to doing it than not, right? That's all I'm saying. So you don't get medals for that. You're a manager. You're meant to do that because in May of last year, or when the window shut of last year, you were telling us you had enough. January, I'm pissed off at the Cronkies because if you care about the football club, things needed to happen. And in hindsight, we set ourselves up for failure last season, if I'm honest with you. We didn't do what needed to be done in the summer. Obviously, you look back in hindsight with the whole Edu stuff now, and it did take, I know it takes a minute, but it took a minute to get BERTA in. It did feel like elements of a write-off in which it's one where you wish you was a fly on the wall to see everything from the manager to the player staff, the people above the gaffer and all of that kind of stuff, bro. Arteta is a very good manager. You need to prove that you're a great manager. We've got a very good team. You need to prove you're a winning team. And at some point, in the same way, Ramsdale got us to a point, had to upgrade or do something different. Tierney the same, this one and that one. At some point, getting rid of the manager or moving on from the manager might not solve everything, but you'll need some level of different ideas. That's all I'm saying, man. You don't get medals for that, G. Yeah, we weren't expected to be there. But again, Liverpool didn't expect to win the league this year. They got it over the line. I'm sure we didn't expect to go invincible unless you're Wenger. We got it over the line. How far does that go? You don't get medals for that. This is the and I agree with you. You're not wrong, but this is the difference with sport, bro. You don't. That's courageous losers. You don't get that. If you try to get your girlfriend pregnant and she can't get used, she might leave you. It don't go far. Like it doesn't. Like what does that mean? I would love it to be the case, but I can't. All these things we're talking about, we can't put them in the trophy cabinet. We can't beat Madrid and all of that, and that's where we're at now. You're not wrong, but this is the other side of the argument. Because people wanted, you can't have it both. I'm not saying you necessarily, but you can't have it both ways. You can't gas up the team based on what you're saying. The manager's so adept at dealing when spanners are thrown in the works, and when everybody's fit, we're great. Waffle about all the positives around the club, whether it's on the field, off the field, individually or collectively. But then do this finding excuses thing. You can't. You can't. I don't know I can't tell you if Newcastle, Spurs, Liverpool winning the title, and many of the underdog stories we saw last year actually winning other trophies in other countries. I can't tell you if they thought they were, or Leverkusen winning the Bundesliga a few years ago. I can't tell you if they weren't expected, but they did it. They did it. We've got one of the best collective squads of the Emirates era. We've proven we're not a fluke because 2022, 23, you're right on one hand. When it wasn't expected. Nobody expected that. But what do people say? Oh, everyone's going to get better. We're going to fall away. Okay, cool. We didn't win the league, but we're still there. The next year, where really and truly we pissed the transfer market and we winged it from start to finish. We finished second. Next year, you have to get over the line in something. At the very minimum, you have to win a cup. For me, I think if you don't win the Prem, people are going to be on you. I don't think Arteta is going to get sacked if we have a year like this year. And what I mean by that is forget how we got there. 2 semi-finals in the league and FA League and Champions League, League Cup and Champions League. Obviously finishing second. FA Cup reminds me of the last 2 years against Liverpool and United, where we're dominating the game, not putting the ball in the back of the net, and ultimately pissing about, man. So yeah, man. It is where it is, man. It's a techie one, man. And let's just get over the line, man. Let's just get over the line. We've got one of the best squads, some of the best individual players. I always say this, yeah, but there was times, especially with the defenders, you would have bit anyone's arm off for just having one of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, big up Tierney and Tomiyasu when they were here, and Miles Lewis Skelly. Got them all here now. Got Saka. Got Gyökeres now. Come on. Because what we can't do is act like Arteta is a damsel in distress. He's done a lot well. I think he's done more positives than negatives, but the shortcomings are stopping him from getting over the line as much as all the other factors, really and truly. You are benefiting from the fruits of Arsene Wenger's labor. The academy is pumping. We're in a great financial position. At some point, and we all hope Arteta gets over the line, at some point, we might have to say, you know what? He's good, but he might have been the guy just to steady the ship. Like Wenger built the stadium, my man turned the lights on. The next man might have to go and do things. Until he gets over the line, every option remains on the table. And that's not me saying get him out and do all of this. It's just the reality of the situation. Your position should not be untouchable. And I get it. You can't forget where we used to be. But come on, man. Come on. Come on. Oh, Ben Jacobs has spoken about Eze. We'll get into that. We got 100 likes yet, people. Big up you lot, man, because we just want to see our team win. Well, I know people watch me that don't support Arsenal, but nonetheless, big up yourselves. Can we hit 150 likes? Big up the Aussies. The club structure is set. It's time to win. And this is why I'm harsher on Arteta, because I think if we're going to win, it's going to be down to BERTA, Arteta, and the players. I don't think those above Donny want to win. I think they would like to win. I genuinely think the Cronkies would like to win. I don't think they want to win. And them say full control, and that's just as much cope. Eddie was standing in the dark with Sterling at Coley. Don't remind me of that, man. Don't remind me of that, man. Yeah, that's what I said apart from Wenger, because he called it. I don't know. How do you think they feel when we had the chance to win champs and sign someone in Jan? I think the players will be gutted. I think Arteta would have been gutted if you're talking about January. I don't think Cronkies cared, bro. I don't think they cared. I think they looked at it as, okay, maybe Liverpool are running away with it. I think they looked at it as we was in that little weird spot in that we're better for the season and how it's playing out. We're better than those below us. So we're not going to get drawn. I know we kind of got drawn out, but we're not going to get drawn into this race for Europe thing. All right, the thing's gone with Liverpool. We've got enough. I think if you got Watkins, then that means we can't get Gyökeres. In hindsight, I'd have been vexed. But Watkins or any striker or any attacking additions, they might have given us a bit of a boost. And I do think that was more needed when you look at the PSG game. Like, there was an element of we need better. Like, you look at the first leg, Partey's out. Obviously, Marino is in a good bit of form. You have to move him back in midfield. Rice is doing his thing in the eight. Bearing in mind, this is when Rice is now starting to, second season Rice type thing. You're moving the parts around, and then there's issues. You look at the second leg, first 20 minutes, we had some chances. You do kind of feel, if we had that star left winger or that Eze, that Gyökeres, they still might have missed, but goals change games, and we still could have went out. It could have been something. And then I would say, for me, towards the end of the PSG game in the second leg, it was a valiant effort. And obviously, there's a golfing class between us and PSG. We can't be PSG and buy all those players, but it just felt like we're giving it all we can, like within the context of stuff, we're giving it all we can. And I'm going to need more than long throw-ins. But as a team, like the players, we're giving it all we can. PSG are just competent. Like, we're just not levels. Like, unfortunately, like, there's not even that we're not levels. We just can't do it, bro. Like, I can't say they're not trying. We just can't do it. And to be fair, yeah, you go back here. You go back to when we went out of Bayern Munich. Whose fault is that? Because what came out with the mouthpieces? We need players with X Factor. Who came in with X Factor in the summer? Closest thing. I was going to say Calafiori, but Marino, because he put himself in the highlights, man. No one saw last summer's window, David. You must be new here. You must be new here. DG, you're in the social media, so you have to hear the noise. To be honest, I just air out most opinions. But DG, I hope Arteta lets Gyökeres be himself and not make him play that pass back type of football. I mean, they've got to meet each other halfway. You got to meet. It's a new league. It's new tactics. Obviously, teams sit back. You're going to have to meet. And obviously, there's stuff that Arteta demands and needs from a striker in his system. But likewise, you can't make a shark try climb a tree. Like, leave Gyökeres to be what he needs to be. Like, I need you to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to do X, Y, Z for you. So, yeah, man. Injuries to the tune of 27 in the season. There's nothing you can do to manage the squad. Liverpool bottled a 5-point lead and ended their season 7 points behind Arsenal. Nothing Klopp could have done. Could put your best foot forward. Because for me, if we had the depth, And that same injury thing, like everyone who got injured, I would say fair enough. Because that for me is you tried to fix the roof while the sun's shining. We had a small squad anyways. What was we saying last season anyways? When everyone's fit, the squad's tiny. I can really go back as I have done before. Forget this season, anything Arteta is saying. On a like 3-4 occasions, even more really, if I look in the last 2 years, what has that man said? I'm not blaming him. I'm not fully absolving him of any blame. But as a club, oh, we ain't got bodies. We're injured. We got injuries. We got one of the smallest squads in the league. If I'm lying, I'm fine. So when I see that play out, whose fault is that? It's us as a club. You shot yourself in the foot, you know. We shot ourselves in the foot. I'm not on this, woe is me. I'm just saying the signs are there that he's a very capable coach. Be mad to blow it all up and gamble at this point. He's got a season. Well, you got more than a season, but like we just can't keep. And you're right, but we just. So what in 2026, in 2027, in 2028, if things keep playing out like this, we're gonna keep running that. At some point, it all has to come to an end. And one of my biggest fears, give or take, when it's all said and done, I don't want to look back in these last 3 years prior to this season coming and thinking, rah, like we had a good period. Arteta is a very good coach, but you need to reach the next level now. You need to. You've got it in you. Go and make it happen. And as much as the players, it's a learning curve. The last season, a learning curve for the gaffer. But it's the Arsenal. It's Arsenal FC. It's not Saka FC. It's not Arteta FC. It's not the manager over nobody. Like he's not saying, let's cut the crap. It's a relationship of convenience. You're doing whatever you're doing for the Cronkies beyond what we like from a football pitch. Arteta is managing his former club, a massive club. He's had full autonomy over a lot of aspects. You know, not that there's been many managers, but he's gone from head coach to manager. He's had a lot for someone that's been managing for 6 years. Let's not blame him for everything, but let's not do this running away thing. And I do think there's too much disingenuous rhetoric around Mikel Arteta. It's either it's all his fault or it's not his fault. You can believe that if you want. I'm not saying you have to believe he's the best thing since sliced bread, or you don't think he has to go. As long as you have the ability to consider everything. Okay, he did X, Y, Z, but I still want him gone. This ain't a dictatorship on this platform. So yeah, man. I see Arsenal fans trying to hang their hopes on Liverpool getting injuries. See, injuries is horrible, bro. When did we get linked with Sterling? Why was that the only attacking signing? This is why I'm vexed, bro. This is why I'm vexed. So they have to hold that, bro. We just won our first trophy of the season. Rise up your silverware. You must be new here, Marcel. You must be effing new here, mate. You must be new here, mate. You know, one sec, people. Let me close my window. You must be new here. Did my captain not just live something? Did Odegaard just not live something the other week in Singapore? And we won the Euros. And we won the Champions League. Everyone likes to talk about my team ain't got no silverware. Last time I checked. Well, won in Lisbon. As mediocre a player as Marino is, he can nick a goal. I got time for Marino, man. I prefer him up front, though. Trophies do nothing for billionaires. That stuff is beneath them. It's nice, but the club is their business. I think some want to win, but yeah, man. Yeah, the bottom line. Exactly. We have to win. Cool. We can nitpick, but man have to win something. I don't think the FA Cup and all these things would be enough, and I won't even say that saves face. And I know the goalposts will change because what have we seen this summer? Obviously, like it's just been, even on top of everything Arsenal related, just not that anyone cares about the Conference League, but just seeing Chelsea win something, Spurs win something, Newcastle, like it just feels like that. But people are disingenuous. I'm not saying it's right, but the language towards the end of last season or when all the trophies were done is, trophy's a trophy, just win a trophy. Now, if we rock up with the FA Cup next year, in which I want the FA Cup, of course I want the champs and the Prem and everything, but if we rock up with that, it's not good enough, it's not a major. So I think the Premier League is, the dream for me is the champs. The Premier League, you need to get that you need to really fight for that, and we can't, like Liverpool can't wrap that up in September, what it felt like. I'm exaggerating. But at the very minimum, you need to get some silverware. But I just feel that would just be how we're talking about football, the media. I don't necessarily think that's shared internally at the club, man. So yeah, it is what it is. You gotta be shameless, bro. But yeah, going back to Marcel's point, yeah, I mean, social media fans are dickheads. I see Liverpool fans doing the most, Arsenal fans doing the most. Any person, let alone club fan, wishing injuries and all of that, because these people's health, it's a dickhead thing. It's a dickhead thing, and it's scummy. It's absolutely scummy. Like, it's scummy, but what are you gonna do, man? That's how some people are, essentially, man. That's how some people are. If I share my screen with you guys, people, what was we gonna do? What happened there? Yeah, if I share my screen with you lot, you know what? I was just randomly going through my archives, yeah. And a lot of you say, "Oh, DG, you don't like Gyökeres, you don't like Gyökeres." Why Gyökeres is Arsenal's secret weapon for success. He is him. That was 10 months ago. So check that out after this. Victor Gyökeres, Victor Gyökeres, the striker Arsenal should sign. That was a year ago. So yeah, I'm gonna for the bants, we'll do an updated piece on that. But Gyökeres, man. I love that. Arteta, there's no left wing. There's no left wing. He can pull out to the channels if he wants, but come on, man. As much as I like all the nerdy football stuff and everything Arteta does, like I just feel to a degree we gotta go back to basics. Slap this guy up front. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. We ain't got time for that. I did cover this in a previous video. Big up to you lot that watched it in relation to, like, I went more in depth and read the article. But I do want to ask you lot something. What comes to mind when you lot see this? Arsenal have spent 187 million. Do they need to sell? What is their PSR position? Who could go? Do we need to sell? What do you think our PSR position is? And who do you think will leave? Let me know in the chat, people. Mods, please make sure we're running up the like button. Although Arsenal may not have to sell this window to comply with PSR, that doesn't mean they don't want to sell. The club's owners want Arsenal to be self-sufficient and want to see them make use of player trading to maximize their resources. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. All with a view to sustainably reinvesting as much as possible back on the pitch. Fair play. Arsenal's ownership want the... Oh, sorry, seen this already, people. You see? Always trying to make sure I don't miss nothing else out for you lot. Despite posting losses for the last 6 consecutive years, Arsenal is on a relatively solid footing for PSR rules. It's estimated they could lose up to 97 M's in 2024-25 and remain compliant. So that tells me not that it's advisable for a business, but we could just take the hit. We could. We know we're not in any issues with PSR. Obviously, I'm not against being self-financing, nor am I against the rhetoric if the Kroenke sat there and said, you know what? There's a couple players on some big money. We're not really making any money coming into the club. Let's get a bit of a hold on that. I don't think that's wrong to say, yeah, let's do that, if I'm honest with you. I really don't. So, yeah, man. Arsenal remain open, apparently, to the prospect of further strengthening their squad if a suitable deal presents itself. Although any additions are likely to be in the attacking department. Real Madrid's Rodrigo and Newcastle United's Anthony Gordon, we've heard that before. Both left wingers are admired by the club. I mean, it's a difficult task prizing Gordon out of Newcastle for us on the best of days, let alone with them with Isaac going. Can forget about that. We've also explored a potential deal for Crystal Palace's Eze, as we know. Big up hand of Arsenal. He has spoken, and he's the only one I'm really listening to when it comes to this, if I'm honest. The release clause does indeed have an expiry date that comes into effect before deadline day, but I'm not sure this changes the value Palace have priced on Eze. Now, I think we all know Arsenal at this moment have no intention of paying that release clause, so we've got to make an offer in some way that makes sense to Palace, or pivot towards other targets. Arsenal and Palace have engaged in talks, multiple sources confirm. As of today, Palace are looking for approx 30 mil as a first payment for any agreed deal. Listen, Zinni, Nelson, Lokonga, all of these guys cut from my team, find that 30 million and let's keep it moving. And in fact, on the topic of Liverpool, just because I can see Marcel's comment, they've just sold Diaz to Bayern Munich, right? Vincent Kompany, if you're a real manager, if you're a manager of your word, you once called Lokonga the next Yaya Toure. If you're really a man of any conviction and integrity, you'll buy Lokonga today and take him to Germany today and show us today that he's the next Yaya Toure. For the small price of 50 million euros, of course. Personal terms are not an issue. No further advancement as of today. Has Hand of Arsenal spoken about anything else in this? Okay, we'll just keep it moving and circle back and see stuff. At this point, people, we saw this yesterday in the Athletic, but just to keep you up to date with the Eze stuff, we retain an interest in Eze. The England international has many admirers at Arsenal and would be keen to move to North London. In theory, it looks like a straightforward deal. Eze has a release clause in his contract worth in excess of 60 million. I wonder how many times I've read that. 60 mil stuff. Arsenal, however, have had reservations about paying the full clause for a player who turned 27 last month. If Crystal Palace were to drop the price in the remaining weeks of the window, Arsenal would be keen to proceed. And I mean, it's almost the end of July. We've got a long way to go, people. Naturally, sales would also give any boost of an Eze deal considerably. A new contract for Nwaneri reduces the urgency of Arsenal's Eze pursuit, but does not appear to have ended it entirely. What do you lot make of that? Especially the Nwaneri stuff, people. So, yeah, Ben Jacobs has said Arsenal in talks with Palace over Eze. Palace seeking Eze's release clause triggered or matched. Match that. Just give them favourable terms, man. None of this, we're going to give you 30 million in the year 3,000. Just make BERTA, I know you got to play. You know, in BERTA we trust. It's different now. The Hermes belt's real. Edu was wearing boot cuts. He's not serious, man. I'll relax. Eze remains keen on the move, and Arsenal bid outside of the clause is still anticipated. Now, very rarely does the first offer get accepted. Clearly, what I like from this is I don't know if Ben Jacobs is or isn't credible, but I think he's done decent this summer. On top of what Hand of Arsenal said, at best, when it came to this Eze stuff, it was Arsenal talking with his advisors. Okay, that's cool. You want to sign for us? Tick. Really? Personal terms, not a problem. Cool. But official dialogue, because Eze can want to join Arsenal, we can want him as much as we want. If you don't agree something with Palace and the deal don't make sense or whatever, you can't sign. So if we're really in some level of talks with Crystal Palace, I'm here for this, man. Palace, allow us, man. You lot saved us from Eddie, from Matt Turner, from Rob Holding. Allow us, man. Let your boy Eze, well, he's of Super Eagle heritage. Let him fly, man. Let the Eagle fly, man. Come on, man. Let it happen. And then if we further get into this Eze stuff, Crystal Palace want chunk of 67.5 million Eze fee up front as Arsenal talks continue. Naturally, if I'm Crystal Palace, like, cool, you don't want to activate his release clause. This deal needs to make sense. This ain't no little idiot thing. Are we going to do potentially what we've done with Zubamendi and even back to Torreira, which had nothing to do with everything, where we're if you let us tailor the deal in a certain sort of way in the payment terms, we'll even give you a bit more. I don't know, but Palace asks for 35 million in advance if the deal goes through. So the initial upfront fee is going to be 35 mil. If it doesn't happen, naturally, it's no two deals are the same, but naturally people are going to paint towards the Madueke stuff. Arsenal have been informed, that they would have to pay more than half of Eze's release clause upfront to sign the England forward, with Crystal Palace determined not to allow him to leave for less than a fee that could reach up to 67.5 million, including bonuses. It's understood Arsenal officials, and apparently BERTA's in Singapore or Hong Kong now even. I mean, he could have got on Skype, but you never know. It's understood Arsenal's officials have held initial talks with Palace over a deal for Eze, who has 2 years left on his contract at Selhurst Park. So this is probably not, I mean, Eze is always going to be in high demand, but in terms of a position of strength from Crystal Palace, probably the strongest going to be. He's got 2 years left. It sounds dumb, but a year from now, he's going to be 28 with 1 year left. And they'll still make a profit, I guess, regardless of any fee on what they took from QPR, in which I wanted him since those days. But you get the point. And he might start agitating people. Palace are believed to have indicated they're not willing to accept any bids below the 27-year-old's release clause and want 35 million in advance, with the rest of his initial fee, 60 million fee, due in installments. Bro, this writing is hella small. The clause includes up to 7.5 in add-ons and is thought to expire before the Premier League kicks off on the 16th of August. Although that is not understood to affect Palace's valuation of the player. They signed from QPR in 2020 for a fee worth up to 19.5 million. QPR believed to be due a sell-on clause of 20% if he departs. Arsenal understood to have met with his reps last month to discuss personal terms. He's thought to be keen to return to the club where he was released as a 13-year-old. Having committed more than 200 million on 6 players during this window, Arsenal hoping to move on several fringe players that could fund a move for Eze. There is interest in Leandro Trossard from other Premier League clubs as well as Borussia Dortmund, with the Belgian forward yet to sign an extension on his deal that expires next summer, although Arsenal have the option to extend it by 12 months. Okay, maybe that's why we're a bit relaxed with giving Trossard a new deal with more money, but not the length, and keeping the terms the same kind of. Nelson is being targeted by Fulham, while Lokonga, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira would also be allowed to depart for the right price. Now, Zinchenko, we'll get on to it. He's been linked with Fulham and a bunch of clubs. Trossard's been linked with a couple Premier League teams, Saudi, actually some Italian clubs, so on and so forth. Zini, every now and again, there's links somewhere. Fabio Vieira's been linked with West Ham. Lokonga, I'd say you need to, in terms of ability, Lokonga, you're the shittest of all them names there, but Nelson's on big wages, as is Zinchenko. Fabio Vieira's probably on something a lot more as well than Lokonga or something. I think those need to be moved on first, but could Lokonga be the hardest to move on? Would also be allowed to depart for the right price. Personally, I just think permanently we just want to move Nelson on regardless. The same with Lokonga. Zinchenko, I think it more depends on how we feel about the left-back situation, and Fabio Vieira, there's nothing here in it. Like, Dalman's done better than you, respectfully to you, because you've had a couple cameos, Brentford away, off the bench at the Emirates a few years ago against Fulham. Big up you for obviously assisting Gabriel Jesus a couple of years ago against United, but horrible, man. So yeah, people. He's wanted by Liverpool. I don't know what's going on there. Glasnier has spoken, the Crystal Palace manager. As of now, I have 17 outfield players. I hope we don't lose anymore. considering you're going to be in Europe, that don't sound good. If that happens and we get 4 new ones on deadline day like last year, another false start is possible. And apparently he has yet to open talks about extending his own deal at Palace, which expires the end of next season. Boy. So yeah, man, at this point, we're well aware of what the Eze thing is saying now. See, I again smash the like button. I try to make sure I don't miss anything. I don't really care about this Rodrigo stuff because I quite frankly think it's nonsense. But to entertain you lot, Arsenal's pursuit of Real Madrid winger Rodrigo could be revived in light of the growing interest from Dortmund and Premier League clubs in Trossard. The Gunners have held talks with Rodrigo's camp earlier this summer to sound out the possibility of a blockbuster transfer. The Brazilian is facing an uncertain future at Real Madrid, who have frankly told him they will listen to offers for him this summer. Apparently, Xabi Alonso, the higher powers at Real Madrid, have done that. And apparently, even like super agents have been hired to kind of facilitate a move. Simultaneously, his close circle are fielding offers. But it still appears that despite all of this, everyone around Rodrigo is braced for what's about to happen. At least what we're being told is he still wants to stay in it. And there's a long time in the market. I'm not saying Arsenal are going to grab him. I don't know what's happening. Out of all of them, I'm very pessimistic on Rodrigo. Just put Eze in the bag, innit? Rodrigo has seen his game time diminished dramatically in recent months, and the situation appears to only be getting worse under Xabi Alonso. Despite this, the 24-year-old has yet to make a final decision on his future. This frustrated Arsenal, and they ultimately moved on to other deals, with the priority, of course, being the now completed signing of Victor Gyökeres. Talks have also been held over Eze as an alternative to Rodrigo for left wing, although the interest in him is not completely linked to the Real Madrid star. Arsenal had initially wanted to sign both, as Eze is actually more comfortable centrally. And then again, there's a lot of conflicting reports with Trossard, even the fact that we want to keep him now, apparently. But we are led to believe Martinelli and Trossard could be departures to kind of make this kind of thing happen. And once again, Trossard's being linked with Borussia Dortmund people. We saw a few days ago that actually Trossard and Zinchenko are set to stay at Arsenal following talks with Mikel Arteta. Apparently, Andrea BERTA is rather bullish on committing the futures of Bukayo Saka and William Saliba. At this point, we're going to wait until we see some official confirmation. Arsenal have told Trossard they will not stand in his way of an exit. He is ready to depart, with the wingers camp now working on options. Both Napoli and Atalanta have joined the race for the winger. I mean, Atalanta, good move. Italy, lovely country in that. Napoli, Italy, lovely country, lovely team. Makes sense, innit, really? Kevin De Bruyne, your countryman over there. And your age, I guess you want, I think for him, he probably knows, like, I might not start ahead of Martinelli or Madueke or Eze or Rodrigo, whoever comes in. I might need to think about contract length. I might need to think about money, which probably you're going to earn the most at Arsenal, but you get where I'm going. Trossard is increasingly likely to leave Arsenal, having attracted interest from Dortmund and Premier League clubs. The sale of Trossard would help Arsenal fund moves for a left winger and Eze indirectly, yes. Fulham have made an approach to sign Zinchenko. Fulham have been in talks with the player's camp since early June, and they're now considering making a formal bid, with Arsenal valuing the player at around 15 million. Would you take that? Would you accept that? The only thing that would stop me is I don't know how I feel about left back. I know you've got Timber, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Calafiori, but there's a lot of games. That's the only thing. But I would accept it. Take the money, free up the wages, keep it moving. It is what it is. You can't help us like that. I've read this a couple of times, but shout out Real Madrid for targeting Max Dowman and potentially offering us Raul Asensio and Arda Güler plus some money for William Saliba. So I really believe this report. Shirt sales for Victor Gyökeres broke the club's record and exceeded any player in recent history. And also crashed the website. We're catting in it, people. Liverpool have won the race to sign Will Wright, people. Crucially, however, the player preferred to move to Merseyside, in part due to geographical reasons, but also due to the attractiveness of Liverpool's project. So Salford were forced to accept a lower offer. I mean, wish you the best of luck. Hope you want every young player to thrive. I mean, if you go through Liverpool's academy, Liverpool's under 21s into the first team, great, you've made it. If they've spent, I don't know, 250 grand on you and you become good but not quite good enough and they sell you for 10 million, Salford will benefit from that indirectly. Gary Neville, I know Liverpool fans don't want to hear that, and keep it moving, innit? It's the same as things I've said with Chido Obi Martin. Fulham have made an approach to sign Zinchenko. So what's going on with Reece Nelson then? You know what? Little deal for you. Just give us 40 million for both. AC Milan are said to be interested in Zinchenko. I don't really believe that. They're still apparently in advanced talks for Nelson. I mean, what? Are we hoping that in the next 2 hours, these lot leave Arsenal's training camp and keep it moving? I'm saying this with a heavy heart about Nelson, but you're 25 now, man. You need to keep it moving. Like, it's just not going to happen here. What's this? Arsenal and Liverpool may have been handed a massive boost in the race to sign Rodrigo. Let's just skip the crap and see what they're talking about. Yeah, Liverpool trying to sign Isaac. We got Gyökeres. Apparently, early in the window, Marsa and Cadena Sar stated that Real Madrid valued the Brazilian at £76.8 million, 90 million euros. That price has now dropped, according to AS, with offers to below the mentioned figure. But it probably is contingent on moves away. Gabriel Jesus and Nelson have been linked with moves to Flamengo and Fulham. There's talk of Trossard leaving. Obviously, Nelson probably will leave before the window shuts. Odegaard has spoken about Gyökeres, or Gyökeres, as I think is the right way to pronounce it. I don't know, people. Just score goals. With the language and everything, it's been easier for me to help him. We can speak our own language. Scandinavians, they always bond well together. Yeah, bond on the pitch, man. Get him assists. Break the assist record and break the goal scoring record. So in that way, it's been really natural. But to be fair, it's like with any new player. Every new player, we tried to help them in the best way possible. That's what it felt like when I came here. I felt at home straight away. I felt good. The culture and the environment was to get into. I felt how good the culture and environment, was to get into. Maybe I do need glasses because I can't really see this. Yeah, where was I? Everyone just wants to help you and get the best out of you. Then it's important also how you do things off the pitch. That's what we all do. So we're just here to help. So far, he's having a good time, I think. I think you all see what he's done in his career so far, especially the last season at Sporting. The numbers speak for themselves. He's a very complete player. He's physically strong, fast, good finisher, intelligent as well. I think he's a very complete striker. But my guy, you can also see the hunger, the energy he brings. I'm really excited to have him with the team. He's only trained a few times, but you can see the quality, the energy, and the willingness. I'm excited to have a pitch with him. It's been a while since we played this type of game, so I think that's what we all want. Obviously, the North London derby's mad. To be fair, I think the whole squad is really good in this way to help the young players as well. You say with those two, they're so young and have so much quality. I think myself, I just tried to share my experience, guide them in the right direction. And to be fair, Max Dowman, all these young players, Saka to a degree, Max Dowman, Wanyeri, Odegaard's been through that, innit? So it could help. Even Gyökeres, because he made his debut back in his homeland at 16 before going through the highs and lows, which is what gives me positives with Gyökeres. You've had good moments, bad moments, been doubted, been praised. You're in that, you arrive at Arsenal in your peak, 27, proving the doubters wrong, proving your hard work and whatnot, but you're in that kind of leveled playing field. Because of the good moments and the bad ones, when things are going right, when things are going good, don't get complacent. When things are going wrong, don't get upset. Just keep that level-headedness. When things are going good, it's not that you need to find things to find that are bad, but you get where I'm going. And when things are going bad, you need to also keep going. So I'm happy with that. And that's something for the young players, because right now, Dowman's in the wow moment. Everyone's wowed. He's not going to be the first nor the last player. We know what this country does. They tear these players down. We've seen it all the time. We live, unfortunately, with the media. When Jack Grealish is out here boying Almiron, people are finding humor around it. Miles Lewis-Skelly's being killed for reacting to Haaland. When Haaland asked him who he is, we know what it is. And even that, completely off topic, yeah. I'm not even going to say the journalist's name, even though we need to start naming shaming. Shout out Chloe Kelly and England's Lionesses. But did you not see the Daily Mail's report where they were talking about how Chloe Kelly's a beacon of hope, which he is, and all of this, and he's just flipped it to Rashford. And I read the article. He just complete. Rashford ain't got nothing to do with it. But unfortunately, it's not going to stop, innit? It's not going to stop. Shout out to everyone all around the world who's not a piece of shit like some of these journalists, if I'm completely honest. But I digress. People. Just trying to help them to have the right mindset and to help them feel good in the team and to let them shine and do their thing. They've been amazing on this tour, and you can see all the quality. It'll be exciting to see in the future on the North London derby. I love it. I think we all do. I think we're all excited, to play in front of so many supporters as well. Mikel said here, we really felt that love and the connection. It's been a while since we played this type of game, so I think that's what we all want. And yeah, for me, it's a good thing that we get a proper test. Can't be any worse than Newcastle, and something that means a little bit more, with the derby. So I think we're all just really excited and eager to play. I think the support and the reception we've had here has been amazing. Yesterday, we arrived at the hotel. There were people everywhere and shirts everywhere. We really felt that love, when we came. And today in the stadium, around 20,000 people to come and watch us train. The game tomorrow is sold out. So yeah, we really feel that. It's really special, and it's amazing to travel so far and still feel that, so it's something we really appreciate. It means a lot to us, to make people happy and to make people enjoy football. So yeah, that's really good. Big up Odegaard, but I actually just wanted to see what Mikel Arteta had to say in the build up to the game. Obviously, we know how big the London derby is. It's abroad. It's great for the rival. Well, it's great for the rival fans and our fans to see that if you're not obviously exposed to that. On Martin's experience playing at a young age, he's obviously praised it and likened it, and kind of what Odegaard just said, how he can help the Max Dowmans, the Marley Salmons, and the rest of it. What we kind of care about is, not that we don't care about that, but the Gyökeres business. Yeah, I understand he's only done today's session, yesterday very little. We're going to have to assess today or tonight how he is. If the medical staff are happy as well with his condition to participate in tomorrow's match, it's a possibility. We're going to discuss that tonight. With the rest, everyone's going to be okay, apart from Big Gabby. I've told you, lot, Big Gabriel, that's now going to be 3 games going on there. If I don't see you in the Emirates Cup or whatever it is, I'm getting a bit nervous, you know what I mean? He's still out, and probably Calafiori is going to be a bit too early for him. Nice to see Calafiori in training, but you know what? Wrap that you in cotton wool and leave him, man, because I don't know. Let's leave him. I think you've all seen what he's done in his career so far, especially the last season at Sporting. The numbers speak for themselves. He's a very complete player. He's physical, strong, fast, good finisher, and intelligent as well. I think he's a very complete striker, and you can see the hunger and energy he brings. I'm really excited to have him with the team. He's only trained a few times, but you can already see the quality, the energy, the willingness. I'm excited to have him on the pitch. On the size of the squad, well, I said I was extremely happy with the way that we approached the window and how aggressive we've been. There's still a long period with the window open. So far, we're happy with what we've achieved. Make sure that at the end of the window, we'll continue to be super happy. Super happy as super players. Eze. Let's go. On helping Gyökeres settle in. Oh, this is Martin Odegaard. Sorry, we've gone over that already. I don't want to keep doing the same things. On Arteta and Victor wearing the 14 shirt, which there's rumors that he wanted the 9. The 9's taken, 14. I think I used the word conviction. That's the first thing that I noticed when I spoke to him. Someone very determined, someone that was really already attached to the club. The way he was talking about the club, the history, in this case, Omri, and what the shirt represented, I felt it. When you feel it, go for it. On what the shirt number means, we know what it means, man. Obviously, big up the Hong Kong fans, but I'm not going to waste your lot's time with that. Thomas Frank, you're a gentleman, but you support them, man, so forget all of that. On handling pressure, people, where Gyökeres is concerned. I think it already has, because when the news broke and when you realize the magnitude of the club that you're going to be representing and how viral everything goes so fast in these days, I think his immediate reaction was, wow. When he sees, the way we were received again yesterday, the training session that we had, pardon me, with 20,000 people, the stadium was sold out in 2 hours, and 50,000 people being in that incredible stadium tomorrow. So I think you're going to have a very good first impression, that's for sure. Come on, big up the atmosphere. Goals of the seasons. Well, do better than the previous one, and we all know what that means. You see? Don't give me no nonsense to you lot in the chat, because he's answering how I answered. No excuses. Win something. So again, I think everything starts with preparation in terms of how we build the squad, in terms of how ready the team is going to be to start to compete from day one, and everything that we've seen so far. The feeling that I get straight away is very positive. So yeah. Fair play in that regard. 4 p.m. I'm going to have Kenny Ken and DJB. So yeah, I'm going to ask them about Max Dowman, piss off Kenny Ken about doing this as well, ask about Eze and any other things you lot got. And don't forget, tomorrow's the big one, folks. Make sure your notification bells are on, because it is Arsenal against Spurs in front of 50,000 people. You know what? Shout out everyone who's made the journey to Hong Kong. So yeah, we'll be deactivating permanently. These dons, yeah, are hella emotional. These I can't listen. Big up you lot for doing the social media thing, but you lot are fucking emotional, like. But anyways, what shall I leave it on? You know what? I think it just looks a bit better with that. So yeah, big up yourself, Farouk. Question to the entire chat: does that include me? Who in here don't like the blue kit, or which kit do you guys think looks the best? I don't know, man. Certain content creators, they must really be deluded, because when the kit first came out, we was all here and they were saying, "Oh, the blue kit looks rubbish," and they've changed their opinion, completely flip-flopped. I've never said that. I think the blue kit is wavy, if I'm honest with you. Rashford can be smelly and he makes mistakes, but bro, it's clear racism. Everyone thinks racism is calling him a fucking nignog and all this stuff. Like, it's the microaggressions, and that's just not extended to him. It's everything. You've got racism, and then I feel, obviously, not that other people can't be victims of racism, but I do think for the black youths, there's racism. When it comes to like The normal, like when it comes to like Grealish and, well, for me, I always think Harry Maguire and Beckham, it's a class war, isn't it? Like, I know these lot earn a lot of money, but that's more of a class thing. It's just a footballer is earning money and everything they do. And half of these journalists, I'm sure if we did some digging into their stuff, bro, it's dirty. We need to sell Madueke. Come on, the guy's just arrived. It's Yoikerez. The G is silent off. What about West Ham's Paqueta going up for sale at a very reduced price? Nah, not for me, man. That's probably why I don't buy the Fabio Vieira to West Ham links, man. It seems like that could be a Paqueta replacement. They're not similar, but they're similar. As much as I rate Madueke, I respect fans being honest and having their own opinion. Reece needs to leave Arsenal, not good enough. Just ain't happened, man. It just ain't happened. DG doesn't like the blue kit. He said the silver signet. The Italians do look down on older players. So if Trossard wants to go entertain the sell, to be fair, go into Italy might extend his shelf life, man. It's just mad to me that Paul can grab an 80 million striker, 100 million cam, and 130 million in the same window. But it's what they do, isn't it? Kivio could be of interest to Palace if he goes. I hear that, but I'm not selling Kivio. I don't want Kivio to go. We need depth. We need you to stay, bro. We need you to stay. Don't understand why it's a priority getting Eze. We need to sell Trossard and get a better winger than Martinelli. If we add Eze on top, then great. If we sell Zinni, we also need a left back. 35 million. This is about Eze, isn't it? We could probably do 28 mil up front currently. Boy, Mazza. Eze needs to force a move. Boy. I think everybody can understand we were never gonna go and pay the release clause. We were never, whether it's right or wrong. My issue would be if you don't get a deal with Eze, because unfortunately it's gonna be. I feel sorry for Madueke, him as a person, because your biggest crime is just you signed for Arsenal Football Club. It's not even a crime. Chelsea don't want you. Arsenal's London. All your your England teammates are there. It's a big club. While I wouldn't have bought you, I don't necessarily think that's the right way to use 50 million. You get a chance, but I do think it will be a further, on top of all the talking points and everything around Madueke. If you can't agree a deal with Eze, for example, I do think that'll be a further stick fans will beat Madueke over the head with, because people might say, like, if we offer 58 million, Palace are adamant 68, and there's a 10 million difference. People would say, oh, why, if you never spent the 50 million there, rightly so. If you didn't spend the 50 million there or whatever it is, maybe you could have had it happen. I got time for Ben White. None of those are excuses for Arteta, though, nor does he accept, because he's shown, especially last season, that he's more than capable of making something from nothing. But this is you lot are chatting in the chat. Oh, be nice, chat, man. Debate, man. Debate without being insulting, please, man. At the end of the day, we like football. Nah, man, I don't think we're going to get Leo, though, man. I don't think we're going to get Leo. I think that one there's paper talk. If I'm honest with you, I can't say I believe it. Nah, the blue kit's lovely. Adam Wharton would be the smarter buy. He's costing, like, he's a good player. I'm sure Palace are probably braced to just probably lose Gurhi and Eze, maybe Mateta. I don't think they're on losing Adam Wharton. I would love Wharton. He's a baller, but how much is he gonna cost? Probably all the way up to near. They're gonna be pushing for 100 million quid. Like, if we're gonna make significant investments, it's got to have to be left wing, or you get where I'm going. We're left wing or an Eze or whatever. I wouldn't mind Gordon at all, man. The gods of football told Arsenal will never have a trophy as long as Arteta is there. You know it's true. 7 years. Well, then this is why you don't worship false gods, because, of course, in the last few years we've been fucking up. But we won the champs last year, and I think everyone conveniently forgets Arteta did win the FA Cup, and you know what? And Arteta could be a bit shameless, but he said he's got 3 trophies. So if we're gonna try, at least make it make sense, bro. The blue kit's ugly. Sorry, the color tone is too. I can't lie. I was with you lot saying the kit is ugly and it's lovely, man. It's lovely. I like the blue supporter shirt more than the player one. Yes, DG, including you, because I heard you said it was crap. That's what Nathan said. 2 snitches in there. I didn't say that. Stop snitching. It was AI. I'm sorry, guys. I thought it was dead. I saw the players wearing it. I'm a fan of it. And to be fair, we're always on task with the merch. The merch that's for this season on and off the field. I'm sure we released something last week as well. Like don't even know what you call it, but like just normal wear, if that makes sense. I do like the white kit. I need it confirmed that that's going to be our third choice. But our third choice white kit, I think that's the one. Can't go wrong with the red. I've been converted to rating the blue one. The white one looks like the bread and butter. Defo, the account was hacked, man. DJ, I didn't insult anyone over the manager. No, I hear you. I just see 1-2 chats, man. We know this is a safe space where you can have an opinion. My only demands on this platform, our platform, we're a family. Smash the like button and subscribe. I don't tell you what to think, just think, innit? That's it. As long as you can convey why you think, why you feel, and it's not just a hot take and you've got some evidence, then you can think that. And at the grand scheme of things, people are just football, you know? It's just football. We don't need to insult and do all these things. I'm not saying anyone's necessarily doing that now, but one thing I hate, is I do think the internet has made individuals far too comfortable with disrespecting people you don't know, or just disrespecting people full stop. That's one thing I hate about football content. Like, it gets too personal and you're boying looks and doing all of this, and yeah, it's crazy, man. I said you said silver signifies second, not the same as saying it's crap, but swiftly moving on. I never said that. It was AI. Who said that? Adidas clears Puma. Yeah, our Puma kits were shoddy, man. And they didn't last. They never lasted. They never lasted. Is lasted even a word? Lasted. Lasted. They didn't last. They didn't last it. I don't know, man. Forget all of that. No, we're not doing this. Arteta barely won FA Cup with another squad. Only Saka was there and he was not starting. So what? He still won it. He still won it. He still needs to win a lot more, but he still won it. What are we talking about? Like, he still won it. He literally still won it. There's always that, oh my God, Wenger only won with Jules Graham's defense. Who cares, bro? So what? Man can pop down slots thing because he won the league last year with basically no investment and it's Klopp's side. It's Klopp's side. So man are gonna pop down slots thing. Who cares? You still won it. You still have to go fucking win it. I understand that the rhetoric. You're not wrong, but he still had to go fucking win it. I still had to win it, lad. What does that mean? There's always goalposts being moved. He did win that. And I'm not saying that they gas him, but I'm saying the 7 years thing does not make sense because he has won stuff. If you was to boy it and say in 7 years only one FA Cup, then cool, that makes sense. Run your bants. If you're going to run bants, make it at least funny. It can be true, but at least be funny. Come on. If you're going to point score correctly, man. Like, rather than watching porn, and if you're going to sit here with your dick in your hand chatting shit about my club, you're allowed to do what you want on your internet. At least make it funny, man. Shit. People will moan regardless, man. You win one Prem, but you didn't win two. You become invincibles, you had 12 draws. Jose Mourinho boxed the league, they were too defensive. Pep's bought the league. You won the Prem, you ain't retained it. You won the champs, you ain't won it bare times. The goalpost always going to move. A striker will score 20 goals, but you only got one assist. They're always going to move. There's always going to be something. We've seen it with Bukayo. Now the only thing they can say, Bukayo, it doesn't move me. It doesn't entertain me. Fuck entertainment. Fuck entertainment. How about that? Because what's entertainment doing? He ain't winning shit. He's not making a difference. You think Salah, better yet, because you can say, Saka ain't won nothing. Salah doesn't move me. If you want to move, go to a disco. If you want to move, go and watch old school Ronaldinho. It's not making sense, man. My issue with the newer kits is I'm not a fan of the Visit Rwanda and Fly Emirates stuff. Broski, none of these football clubs are morally correct. These football clubs don't care. I know we look at it from a fan's point of view, and and that kind of stuff is a business. It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Football's never been moral. None of these clubs are moral. Even when you look through the history of the clubs, especially the European teams, that I'm sure AC Milan, but I'm sure if you go and look at Barcelona's kit, you see an England flag. Everyone's hands are dirty. They're on salary first, conscience later. Like, it is what it is. And unfortunately, I'm not saying you're saying this necessarily, Arthur, but if we are gonna do the morality police thing, then we all got to stop using iPhones. We got to stop doing bare things. Unfortunately, I'm not saying it's right, but this is the way the world is, man. It's unfortunate, man. So I hear you with that. But as you've seen with our club with certain centre mids and the Visit Rwanda, none of these clubs give a monkeys, bro. It's individuals running the clubs at the end of the day. And people are just going to get on with it. Like, I don't even want to go down that route, but everyone that was crying about my man, yeah? Kits come out, Gyökeres, yesterday's news. It's unfortunate. Football mirrors society. People don't care, man. It's not to say people don't care, but yeah. Not morality, please. Just seems too big for the kit. Oh, I hear that. If Arsenal don't win the league in 2 years, do you sell Saka? Saka might want to go, but you're here for life, Reed boy. Like, you're here for life. How many goals will Gyökeres score? I'm hoping for 20, man. In the league. 20 in the league. Grab me 15, we can maneuver, but I need 20, man. I need 20, man. I need 20. Appreciate you, Kaya, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Need a big trophy this season. Not a want, it's a need. Yeah, man, Slot can have that, but I don't think Slot. Like last time I checked, when they lifted the Premier League trophy and it says 2024-25, does it say an asterisk Klopp squad? Does it? Like, does it? Because end of the day, he goes in history. He won the trophy. Where do we go with that? I couldn't give a monkeys if Arteta won the league, which he obviously didn't, but in his first year at this club, or if he does it now and whose squad is it or whatever, we've won. Who cares? People can do all of that chatting. I think it'd be a bit sad, but that's just the way the game goes, man. DG, if we had party in the first leg against PSG, I think the results could have been different. We were so close to lifting up a trophy. Maybe it could have been worse. It could have been good, but that's what we're doing. It's the coulda, woulda, shoulda. We have to just deal with what is, sorry. And it didn't happen, innit? So, is what it is, man. I'm saying it with Chesh Gyökeres will bang 27 goals. I hope so. Do you think Chelsea will finish above Arsenal this season? Nope. But Chelsea are going to get it together once, and it's going to be scary, man. It's going to be scary. They're throwing too much money at this for it not to work. I'm keen to see what City look like when Pep leaves, excluding last season. But I think excluding last season, I think City are up here, and then it's just the rest. Obviously, Liverpool probably second, but it's the rest. I think with their manager with Pep going, they'll still be up there, but it's more of a level playing field type of thing now, if I'm honest with you. I think City are going to hit back. For me, I've got Liverpool. Unfortunately, my heart, Arsenal, of course. My heart, Liverpool's favourites. And then I just think it naturally filters out. I think anyone could finish second. Arsenal, Chelsea, whatever have you. I do think Chelsea make top four. In no order, my top four would probably be Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea off the top of my head. But if it's not Arsenal benefiting, I don't really care where the other teams feature in it. Forget it, man. We can't brag on second place. I don't know anyone who brags about second still. I'd like to see what Saka could do with a full season and adequate rest times. Facts. 100%. All this discrediting Klopp is copium. People said Liverpool would be in the transition and won't be top four, and we'd be there to take over. Exactly. And even if people, and that's the main thing for me, cool, you can, like, that's for Liverpool fans to fight, innit? I just think people being disingenuous. But cool, that's for Liverpool fans to fight. For years, people said when it's all said and done, City, juggernaut, if they ever fall off, we'll be there. We were there. Unfortunately, someone else was there above us. So, seen Klopp win a league. You know, Klopp lost the war against City per se, but he won a battle. He cut. Slots come in one. We're fiddling our thumbs, innit? Get over the line, man. Goalposts will always move, man. And this is why I know it. I understand the frustration. I get frustrated for football in general, not just Arsenal, in it. Like, I think there needs to be, I think you can have a laugh and a joke, but just be honest in it. Like, just be honest. I think too much football content on major platforms in here on YouTube. It's just being disingenuous, just rivals. My dad is bigger than yours, acting, just acting in it, really and truly. I wish there was a level playing field. But what I would say to Arsenal fans, stop biting debate. If they don't rate us, cool. You don't have to. And I know it's difficult. I know it's like someone getting at your phone, but all right, cool. Who cares, bro? Arsenal won the league at Anfield. Time to do it again. Can we just win a Premier League game at Anfield? Liverpool ain't winning the league, even with Isaac. Big up DG, chilling in Southeast with the man, but couldn't miss the stream. Appreciate you. Big up my guy, John. Chelsea have a nice start. They'll be top after 5 games, but drop off and finish fourth. I think we just need to concentrate on what we're doing. Get Rodrigo and Eze in the door, and it's game on. I hear that. And do you know what I would say? A lot of teams, it feels like there's a lot of turnover. Like Chelsea got bare players. Maresca's going to have to find a way to slot things in and maybe, improve what needs to be improved. Liverpool, there's a lot of turnover. For us, I say there's not, but there also is, and there's stuff that we need to do. United, you're gonna see what Amarin's going to bring to the table. There's a lot of moving piece. City as well. Last 2 windows now. Well, the one that's going on now in January. You don't really know what you're gonna see. We're gonna see certain things that we'd attribute to all these clubs, but you just don't know what is gonna happen. Be interesting. News on Noni tomorrow, or is he likely to be in the Emirates Cup squad? I didn't see nothing when we went over the presentation, but he's not in Singapore. Sorry, I keep saying Singapore. He's not in Hong Kong, innit? He was giving this off. He wanted to be there, as the Athletic said. So it's an Emirates Cup thing for him. If we get Eze, I'll probably forget that we wasted another 52 million and another 5 million digging around in Chelsea's trash. Damn. But the love that Arteta receives from a particular section of the fan base is unreal without any significant success yet. They'll defend each and every tactic of Arteta with their life. I must admit, I hate all them sides. I'm not talking about people that can like have a balanced conversation that can say, yo, Arteta needs to do this, that, and the other, and people that are sick of the guy, because you are allowed that. You allowed that. You're allowed to do that. You don't have to rate the gaffer, but you can understand this, that, and the other. I don't like the cultness and the apologistness, and I don't like the whole slating a man acting like he's crap, like, because he's clearly not crap. Like, he's clearly not crap. And he clearly hasn't, he's done a lot of good, but he clearly hasn't done enough to warrant this cult-like figure. Like, I'm not saying this right, but I get it with Wenger. I get it if Klopp was in that situation. I get it with Pep. I get it with them kind of guys, because they've earned that, if I'm honest with you. And to a degree, as someone that likes Arteta, I think he's praised for certain things I've seen managers like at our club killed for, personally. And I think a big part of it is because we're scared to let go of the past, because that's the only thing keeping us. Some people just want to be part of the journey, innit? At some point, something has to happen. And for me, I'm on anything. I'm not seen enough to ride with Arteta to the death. Equally, I'm not pitchforking Donny, man. There's no such thing, man. But no, there is. This channel, there therefore is, but it's not what sells, bro. Like, you have to just chat shit. Like, I'm not on it. As I said, I don't tell you like what to think, just think. And I think too many people don't think, and a lot of things are lies. They don't get twisted. There's some people that will not rate Arteta, but when the stream starts, they'll gas it. You know what? I speak about this all the time. Forget we'll mascara feature tomorrow. I hope so, man. It is an Arteta FC. It's the Arsenal, but it is what it is, man. Football brings out the most tribal emotions in every man and woman, man. It's the only thing that gets grown men and grown women crying. I'm just conscious of time, and I'm aware that we're going live in half an hour, folks. So, yeah, man, I'm going to be with Kenny Ken and DJB. Smash the like button and all that good stuff. And, yeah, it'll be a chance for me to shut up and entertain you lot and hear what they have to say for an hour or so. Appreciate you lot for being here. Appreciate you lot, man. We got a family. If you ain't subscribed, make sure you're subscribing. God bless you all, man. I'm out. I Arteta. BERTA.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.